Live from the Export Beer Garden studio and brought to you as always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda podcast for Friday the 15th of November.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
And a very good morning to James McOnie of a Friday. How are you, James?
Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, monsieur. And oh my God, G Lane, what are you wearing?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Sorry, sir.
It's flight lieutenant to you, McOnie. No, I was down in Ohakea.
Yes.
Last night, actually, with Matt Heath. Got invited to the Bog Rats dinner down there in Ohakea.
What's the Bog Rats dinner?
It's like a junior flight kind of function, like all the junior flight, I don't know what.
Wounders?
Yeah.
Pilots?
No, they were good. There was good times down there. I think it was a great time. And I woke up this morning without my ACC jacket. And I woke up with someone else's jacket, which I found out later on is Flight Lieutenant Sandbrooks.
Oh, you're off the fourth Sandbrooks.
Yeah, Brandon Sandbrook. I've got your jacket, okay? Fairly senior. There's quite a few medals all over it.
Yeah, there are.
So I like it.
There's a helicopter pin. There's a yellow bar, which I presume is earned, not given.
The crunchy, yeah.
Yeah, he's won the crunchy medal for services to Cadbury's.
Yeah, look, it's stolen valor.
It is stolen valor.
Yeah.
You did not earn that.
No.
You don't have your wings. And then what's that one? That's a medal. What does that say?
It's a 3-year service medal.
Oh, yeah, it says regular.
Yeah.
Are you flying without wings?
Yeah. Look, I'm going to have to return it to him at some stage because I think coming near Christmas, this is their formal kind of dining outfit.
That's their number ones.
But I woke up and looked at the back of my door and I was like, what the fuck did I get that from? And I was like, where's my jacket? And I was like, okay. I had recollections of swapping clothes at some stage.
Hey, what happens in Ohakea stays in Ohakea,
Yeah.
okay?
They're great New Zealanders down there. Leighton and Cody looked after us.
Is that our Top Gun? Is that our Top Gun Academy?
Yeah, the best of the best are down there.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yep. That's where all the helicopter squadron is as well.
Have we got choppers?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Right.
They were good. Are they N90s?
Yeah, didn't you see Hunt for the Wilder People? There's one. There's definitely one.
They got quite a few of them. They're restocking. They got a new Hercules as well. They got a whole lot of new Hercs.
I, for the longest time, thought our Air Force consisted of a hang glider and a spud gun. But no, we've got...
It does. That's part of it.
I think they want to make you think that. I think it's just so they can chip away down there in Ohakea. But it was good fun. They had a good time down there. We had a good time.
And no one crashed into a reef. Suppose it's hard to do when you're...
A lot of chat about that.
I bet there bloody was.
A lot of chat about that.
I bet the armed services are aflutter with...
Oh, yeah. The Defence Force. So, yeah, there's all
How many
sorts.
times do you have to bail these clowns out?
And it's funny because the Air Force, the only time you ever really hear about them is when the plane's bloody broken down and Chris Luxon's got to hop on Air New Zealand.
There was a lot of feedback about that as well.
Yeah.
Because they were like, these planes do so many missions and it like breaks down once in its headline news. They're like, so...
Yeah.
There was a lot of that going on as well in terms of just. I mean, I felt like Matt Heath and I were just the media punching bag for a little bit, but it was good.
Yeah,
we were happy to take the punches.
Oh, so they were pinning everything on you that was being reported on in the media.
Nah, they were pretty good actually, but I wasn't expecting. We had a nice formal dinner. You know, they got a gavel and everything, and you can't sit down till the most senior person sits down. You can't start your food until they start down. And you start eating the meal, and some guy walks up and drops a coin into my full glass of red wine.
Oh.
And then the room stops and looks at me, and I had to chug my full glass of red wine.
Save the king.
Yeah, and then remove the coin, and I had to drop it in someone else's drink. Got dropped in my drink 4 times throughout the night. I felt like I was getting picked on.
Yeah, you were. I have a mate who he cut his hand to bits in a angle grinding incident. The blade exploded, as they do. And then a couple of weeks later, he was playing. He was at a BYO, and they were playing that game. He put his hand over the glass to cover it, and when the person went to put it in, the glass shattered.
Oh, no.
Ripped his other hand to bits. So now he's standing there like Mr. Krabs with both his hands.
So is it called Save the King, is it?
Well, save the queen.
Save the Queen.
Yeah, because
She's on the coin.
Yeah.
She's on the coin, so so that's the game. Save the Queen.
Yep, save the queen.
And do they yell that at you?
Yep,
When you
yep, and they
Save the Queen.
Yeah, and then a polite clap when it was all drunk as well. And then I tried to do something. We were talking about some terrible stuff, and then I suggested they still had the Queen above, like in the centre of the room as the head of state. And there was a real fruity picture of Prince Charles somewhere else. And I said, why don't you swap that for the King? Can I remove the Queen and put the King up there? And it was like the room went silent. And I went, don't fucking touch the Queen. I was like, oh, okay. Don't touch that picture.
She was good to us.
I said, there's a lot of shit going on in this room that's way worse than me putting Prince Charles where he should be on the front wall. But I think they're still holding on to Queenie.
I feel like if
Why?
you took the Queen's portrait down, there'd be someone who'd come out of a little door and sort of attack you, like and just chip away at you, and like the protector of the Queen's
or something
portrait. Yeah, the honour. Yeah, the honour of the Queen.
You take it
Save
off
the Queen.
Yeah, take it off and something explodes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
It was like,
it would be like that.
Yeah,
I think
I
there'd
was
be
kind-
booby traps.
I was
not
kinda-
actual boobies,
yeah.
but yeah.
She's got a great rack though.
Head.
Rest in power. We have talked quite. I mean, she probably still has it. We were talking at the RSA the other day about whether we think we could replace one of the photos of the returned serviceman on the wall with our own photo, and how long it would last before somebody noticed it.
Oh yeah.
Do you think, McOnie, you've seen the photos? Do you think you could?
No, this is the weird thing. I'd actually never noticed the photos. I applaud you for noticing the photos. Like, you're definitely a details guy. Like, you'd be perfect as some kind of recce sniper sort of working out the lay of the land. But the one thing I thought is that if there was ever a quiz on stuff in a room, that would be your superpower. I feel like you sort of walk around, you notice everything, sit down, and you're ready to go, yeah, Cyril Burgess, 1962, whatever. I think, and also, they don't like us anyway. Like, we're only there because one of us is a member. It might be you.
It's me.
And so we just put Manaia's name down to say that we can drink there. And the rest of the time, they barely tolerate us. I mean, it's just, I order food, so I feel like they sort of go, well, the fat guy's going to have something.
Great food.
He's going to spend some money.
Are the photos black and white?
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's the key.
Willie Apiata's in colour.
That's the key. I think you need to go black and white.
Yeah.
Because you can never tell how old the photo is.
No. I don't think anyone in then looks up at them. Like you said, only someone like me would even notice that they're up there.
I think what would be better is not yourself. I think if you put John Rambo up there or someone, like a black and white photo of John Rambo and put it up there, like that would be better. People are like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I definitely look at the honours board or the jerseys at a rugby club. That's always kind of like, I'll go around and say, ooh, someone played for the Aussie Barbars or some Rico. Or
There'll be a funny name in there.
Yeah.
I like the ones that say on loan from such and such. You're like, you can take that back. You can take that back.
He's dead. The club no longer exists.
Yeah, exactly.
The Central Vikings are no longer a thing.
Oh, the Central Vikings. R.I.P.
The closest I've ever come to getting my photo up on a board like that was one day I got confused for being an SAS soldier. I think I've told this story before, but I snuck into Burnham military camp after me and a mate who lived there were on the piss one night. The next morning I woke up and I went to the bathroom, went back in. He goes down to breakfast, comes back up and goes, everyone's talking about this guy with scruffy facial hair walking around the barracks, and the only people that are allowed to do that are the SAS. Everyone else has to be clean shaven. So they're all going, who's this SAS guy? And they're like, he doesn't look like a soldier. Oh, but the SAS guys never do. That's their thing. They all blend in. And so I was fucking the SAS guy getting around Burnham military base for a day.
Where did you get caught eventually?
No, made a quick evac.
No one tried to throw hands and just test out who you were?
Well, I mean, I won't say his name, but my friend who was living there, he checked in for work to sergeant or whatever. He said, go and get your new kit. Goes to get his new kit. Tells the guy at the kit shop, I just got to duck back to work real quick, then I'll come back and grab my kit. So now he's told mum he's in one place, dad in the other. He's in a black hole, comes back, we play PlayStation all day. And that's what you're funding with your tax-paying dollars.
Speaking of SAS people, isn't Jazz Tavanga's dad an SAS guy? Or like,
is he?
He's a military guy, yeah. And also a don't mess military guy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I bumped into Willie Apiata at the fish and chip shop in Belmont about maybe a year and a half ago.
Where does he live?
I think his girlfriend was out there. But I was walking back from rugby practice with Ralph, and we popped in and very friendly. Just him and him. I was like, "How's it going?" He goes, "How's it?" Just chatting away. He's been playing rugby, yeah. And then Ralph had no idea who it was. I pulled up a photo and a video later on. He's like, "Oh my god, that guy's tough as fuck."
That is a war hero.
Yeah.
Oh, rugby practice, was it tough, was it?
Yeah. Ralph's like, "Oh yeah, I hit my knee."
Yeah, no, I've been through some tough stuff myself. All right, let us take a quick break, and there's plenty of sport to talk about this weekend. We're going to start with the All Blacks. Razor has named his team, but there's some dramatic stuff coming out of the French camp. So quick break, and we'll come back and talk about the ABs. This weekend, the All Blacks play the French, and you two will be commentating it on Sunday morning. Friendly time of about 9 a.m. again, isn't
Great
it?
timings. Great timings.
Beautiful time. We'll get into the All Blacks team in just a second, but have you seen the headline that their first five jailbait. I can't remember how to say his actual
Jalibert.
He doesn't want to play for the French team. Basically, the story is that he was asked to come off the bench this week, and he said, "If I'm not starting, you can go fuck yourself." And
said no.
Yeah, and so he's laid his arms down and surrendered, and he will not be taking part this weekend.
I didn't realise that. I was wondering where Jalibert, what the story was, but they've got Ramos playing first five, who's their normal goal kicker anyway.
Yeah.
The problem with doing a surrender as a French person is it's been done before, but also that they there's plenty of people that play first five. Everyone in the French team can play first five. It's pretty much all their preferred positions.
Yeah.
Like even Antoine Dupont apparently is first five cover for the game. So they're like, yeah, we'll play. Whereas New Zealand, we shit our pants and go, who's going to play 10? France, they're like, who isn't going to play 10? We're all keen. they all fucking love to kick. You can imagine how they came through. They end up in rugby. It's just they couldn't kick straight enough to play football. And so it's like, yeah, you go to rugby because you get to kick it out and you get applauded for that.
Yeah.
It's
Like the ball's too wonky anyway. No one can kick it straight, so it doesn't matter.
You're a rugby guy, and if you're a bit too big and hulking, if you're Sebastian Chabal, it's like, unless you're a really good goalie, you can fuck off to rugby, you psychopath.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a big psychopath, rugby.
Rugby.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's rugby. If you love grabbing the testicles, rugby.
Yeah.
The Hopawadi.
Football not for you. He's named his team as our Razor. Tamati Williams and Tyrell Lomax are your props because Ethan de Groot is still not starting. This is the third week in a row. And there's a headline, don't fall for it. I did this morning, and it says, Razor explains why de Groot's not playing for the third week straight. His explanation is, we didn't play the last two games. And so now the other two are playing well enough that they're in front of him. It's like, yeah, but what did he do the first week? I know every time you're in here, McOnie, I keep asking you. I know you don't know.
I feel like I've got answers for you, Manaia.
Do you?
Last time I said I thought he strangled a duck. Apparently that is incorrect.
Really? I ran with that.
It was a strong theory, and I just thought he'd be the sort of guy who'd be, as a duck hunter, he'd just go, well, I haven't got my gun, I'll just strangle it.
Yeah.
But apparently it was a curfew issue. It was a curfew. And I mean, I don't know, like, there's been curfew issues before. Was it Mark Tillier in the Rugby World Cup?
Yes.
And he missed a test.
Who enforces the curfew? Is there like a night warden that stays in the foyer with a watch?
Yeah.
Or is it you relying on teammates telling on you?
You'd have to wear your GPS out.
Yeah.
That would be that'd probably be the fastest I'd run as well, I reckon. Like with a shopping trolley and shit, it's like, you see my bloody stats from last night?
Yeah, 9:59 you reached a heart rate of 200 beats per minute. What were you doing?
You were on your own.
Yeah.
Going down, is it Baldwin Street and Dunedin? Don't do that, mate.
You're in the 43rd arrondissement in Paris. You just missed your train. So, you're right. Mark Tillier did miss that. I reckon it would be, what's our man? Is it Hansen, the assistant coach, Scott Hansen? Is that his name? I reckon it'd be him. He'd be sitting in
He
the foyer.
sits in the foyer with a watch.
Lights off.
Yeah.
By the way, that is pure speculation. I don't know. So if it isn't curfew, sorry, Ethan. I don't know what you did.
We're back to the dark.
We're back in the dark and back to the dark. Sorry, and we're in the dark. But the one issue is that when I saw the training footage where they send us, the All Blacks training, two things stood out. One was Duplessis Kirifi was on his back and flipped up to standing like freaking Bruce Lee, like a gymnast. Yeah. It's like, straight away he's in the All Blacks for one day and he's just doing all these little sort of physical tricks. And then maybe puppetry of the penis, I don't know. And then I saw Ethan de Groot walking by himself in the dead ball area.
Aww.
I just felt sad.
Yeah. I wonder what he did. I really want to know. Cody Taylor's back in. Scott Barrett to Bovai. The shake-up at 6, 7 and 8 because, of course, Sam Kane's out. Samapeni Finau now comes into the blind side. Adi Savea to 7, which means Wallace Satiti will be playing his favourite position at number 8. Does that just make him even better, do you think?
Yeah, it gives him more chance to get his hands on the ball.
Yeah.
Him off the back of the scrum could be something scary for France because he's been given that wide channel, which has sort of been Adi's favourite, but they've said, well, actually, Wallace is pretty good out there. He does, And anyway, now he gets every single scrum move. He can just maraud the way he always does. I think he's kind of been given a bit of a free rein anyway because before you had, like, Sam Cane was just hitting rucks, right?
Yeah.
And he hit one too many rucks and got split open. And then old Artie, number 7, there's no room to hide. It's a lot, speaking of GPS, that'll be a lot more work than number 8, I reckon.
Yeah.
So So Wallace still has a lot of freedom, which is great. Summer Penny Finau, I think, comes in because he's a big unit.
Yeah.
And France always put out these behemoths. You sort of think they're normal-sized humans, and then you go, okay, collectively, you're just this massive kind of like glob of, I don't know, is there that Tuolangi in there somewhere or no?
I haven't got
He's
the
not-
French team there.
He's not quite reached that level.
But he's the biggest one out of all of them, isn't he?
Yeah,
that
he's
one?
150 kgs or something.
A lock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Finau, he is the first 5 killer, right?
Oh, my
so
gosh.
Jelly Bear probably went, I'm not playing.
Fuck that.
'Cause
I'm
of
not
that,
playing the
yeah.
human skewer.
Yeah. He does. He just goes hunting for halfbacks, first fives. Anyone who's under like 6 foot and 90 kilos, he will obliterate you. Roygaard gets the start. Bowden Barrett in at number 10 over DMAC. He's back from his head knock. That's his jersey now, isn't it? Number 10, you think, Bodie?
Yeah, I think Bodie is the steady choice. He's kind of the he's become a bit of a steady the ship guy for them. The combo with his brother Geordie is, that's nice.
And the image of the three of them before they walk out together.
Yeah, it makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When they're together for the anthem, those Barrett boys. But really, Bodie is the sort of guy who's been there, done that. And I think DMAC, even though he played bloody well and won man of the match in Dublin, I still think there's probably there's some things that they like from Bowden, and it's really just the when to kick, some of that tactical stuff that they do, the distribution side of it. I mean, DMAC was lucky with that try that Wallace Atiti scooped up the pass on the half volley.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, I think, and then Almua had to scoop up Wallace Atiti's pass as well. It's two half volleys in a row. So all that stuff, I think, in the end, we're quite lucky because I think DMAC is a guy who's going to probably come on and win the game if we're in the shit.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have.
Yeah.
Great problem to have. Peter Luckeye finds his way onto the bench as well for the All Blacks. Otherwise, it's pretty standard stuff in the backs. Now, earlier this week, they were talking about the squads got released, and then the Super Rugby squads, that is. And then we were talking about, God, wouldn't it be good if there was some sort of trade system in Super Rugby? And so we put our heads together yesterday and thought, well, what kind of trades would we do if there was like a trade window in Super Rugby? We've come up with a few.
Hit me.
They have ruffled some feathers. 43 comments, and it's all. What I've noticed is no team wants to trade anyone away. That's what they get upset about. That's what all the commenters are bitching about.
I love that guy.
Yeah, I know. No, we love him. Here's the first trade. Now, the Blues have 3 first-class first fives. They got Perifeta, they got Plummer. They also have Bowden Barrett. This trade is trade Bodie Barrett to the Hurricanes for Duplessis Karifi. So Karifi comes up. He replaces basically Akira Ioane, except they'll probably put him at 7 and then Papa Don't Preach around at 6. They don't need all of this first fives, the Blues, and you send Bodie home. And I feel like Duplessis Karifi would fit right in at the Blues. He'd release a mixtape with Mark Talia and Caleb Clark and Rico Ioane.
And you get reunited with Ricky Riccatelli.
Yeah.
Geez, that forward pack with all that Blues team all around with full jazz hands. Think about people who are camera ready, media ready. You throw Duplessis Karifi in with Angus Tartavau and Caleb Clark. It's like, okay, just everybody calm down and form an orderly line. And they'll just be doing, "You are my fire." And that's, okay, all right.
You are.
Who else you got?
Levi Almua from the Crusaders. They got a logjam. They got Enor, they got Havili, they've now got Almua. But what they don't have is a decent first five. They've just brought in James O'Connor from Australia. So trade Levi Almua away again to the Blues. Bring Harry Plummer down to Christchurch. I feel like the Cantabs would love Harry Plummer.
But see, what you've done there is you've done it. I mean, yeah, that's presuming the Bowden Barrett trade doesn't go ahead. Is that right?
Yeah.
But it's a good point because if you've got Plumdog, Stephen Perifeta and Bowden all in the same franchise, one of them will surely want to leave.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a very doable trade, that one.
Yeah, because but they can't leave, because the other thing you got to remember is they've got the National Bank horse Zahn Sullivan back at fullback. So even if you put one of them back there, now you're losing him.
Yeah.
So there's a logjam.
And he's massive. Remember that TAB event we went to, and the National Bank horse.
He's enormous.
I could see you getting quite.
He's a specimen.
He got you sort of aroused in the same way that they have a teaser pony that comes in.
I was the teaser pony.
You were the teaser pony for the big stallion. Yeah.
You really you drank him in when he walked in the door.
I did drink him in. I ended up just stroking his hair as well. Like, it's quite creepy. Just
and
stroking
I introduced the National Bank horse to Mike Lane. He just didn't say anything. He just sort of just stood there like Brick from Anchorman, and I was like, You're allowed to say something.
Lane did
anything.
or Zahn did? Lane did.
Lane did, yeah. Lane just sort of was.
Wow. I didn't know what to say.
He's so impressive.
It was him. Was it Bryce Heem?
Yes.
And
Installer Heen.
Yeah, and one other, and they were all enormous.
Yeah.
Bryce Heem's a big unit.
He's a big bastard,
Fucking
yeah.
massive.
Yeah.
He's also out for the season.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit of a bummer, isn't it? The installer Heem has gone, and so...
That's why they need Levi Almore. Then Harry Plummer comes
Yeah,
down
I
to-
think that trade makes the most sense, because if Bowden's coming back, he won't want to play fullback again. He just doesn't. And so he is saying, I'm a 10, and then that means straight shootout with Plum Dog.
Yeah.
He's got to go somewhere.
They'll stick Plum Dog at second 5, though, won't they? They'll stick him at 12.
Yeah, there'll be a bit of that, but
They might have to.
I don't know. Did AJ Lamb play midfield?
Yeah.
He looked fucking good. When they had their title run, I've got to say AJ Lamb is probably the biggest mover in terms of stocks going up.
Yeah.
Was he called into the All Blacks camp or no? But he was.
No, I don't think so.
But anyway, he was getting talked about a lot, old AJ Lamb.
Okay, so you think that last one makes a little bit of sense. Levi Almore for Harry Plummer.
Yes.
Now for some ones that make no fucking sense. Finlay Christie, born in Scotland. Scottish, red hair. Send him to the Edinburgh of the South. Send him to Otago. Bring Folau Fakatava up to the Blues. Who says no?
What is it? But they're both good players. What's the? Makes no sense there.
No, I just wanted to send Finlay Christie to Dunedin.
Yeah, I can see what you did there. And also, with Mark Ellis as part of the ownership team, the bullying that he'd get as well as a ranger going down there, would be, he'd find out what it's all about.
And one last one, reunite Daniel and Anton Leonard-Brown, trade Daniel Leonard-Brown up to the Chiefs, and then send Josh Lord down to the Landers. The Landers only have 3 locks on contract right now.
No, get fucked. There's no way we're letting go of Josh Lord. We've barely seen him play. He's supposed to be the next big thing. And now this guy, Fabian Holland, is kind of overtaking him. It might be the rocket up Josh Lord's ass. But
you've also got Tapo Vai, and there's one other whose name's escaping me. You've got like 5 locks.
I know.
You got Akoi.
Akoi?
Naitoa Akoi. But I don't think we've got... Have we got that many? We've let go of McConnell. Jimmy Tupou's one of our locks.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is like Josh Lord would probably come in straight away into that team. Naitoa would be a bit gutted because if it's Lord and Tupou Vai, Naitoa would have to reinvent himself as a lock blindside a bit.
Yeah.
Which is what he kind of wants to do. But you can see from his Bay of Plenty season that he's definitely an 80-minute. He's ready to go all day.
And he's a big fizz guy. He gets the crew fizzed up. You've interviewed him a few times. Seems like a good yarn.
Well, I mean, again, if you threw him into the Blues, then it would just be there'd be a battle for the microphone. You'd just like if you brought a microphone out, you'd flush them out like that Crunchy Nut Cornflakes ad.
Flush him out.
I'm coming down too. Me too. Did I see a microphone? And then they'd all just like converge, and it would be ridiculous. So you can't have too many jazz hands.
Yeah.
Like performers in one team. So I mean, I know that you haven't suggested trading Knight or Arkoi, but
but you couldn't.
No. What's your last trade?
That was it. The Josh Lord for Daniel Leonard-Brown.
Yeah. Well, me and G Lane, we're vetoing that, aren't we?
Yeah, we are absolutely. Don't touch the Chiefs.
A lot of
we
people
don't want anyone. We don't need anyone.
Well, actually, I was going to say I'm not sure about trades, but I always feel like repatriating Chiefs who go away, and especially when you know full well they are from Chiefs country. So Cam Roigard is from Cambridge, went to school in Cambridge. His granddad ran the sports store in Cambridge.
Right.
That their biggest selling item was cowbells and frickin' red, yellow, and black beanies. Like, forget the sports gear. He was like Mulu till he dies. And his grandson is playing for the frickin' Hurricanes. I'm sorry, that hurts. And also, Pasilio Tosi went to Rotorua Boys High. And that is gutting. How can you not miss someone the size of Godzilla and think he might be quite good?
Yeah.
You know, like at some point you have to go, we could use that kid.
Don't get too cute with it. Just he's huge. Pick him.
Yeah, pick him. And just
Don't
find a way. William Warbrick was at Rotorua Boys as well. So I guess sometimes when you see those players who are definitely from the mana country, it's like, come on home.
Cortez for Roigard then.
We can't let go.
We can't get sneaked.
See, no one wants to get rid of their players. This is the problem. New Zealand's not ready for trades.
Maybe Tahu Riorangi can go down there.
No, he has to
Oh,
play.
I love Triple T.
He
He is just a beautiful human, Trip T.
Anyway, so those are the trades. get on there and tell the ACC to go fuck themselves in the comments, like everyone else has. And just quickly before we take one more break, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson is on this weekend. How do we feel about this as an event? McOnie, you hate it? You love it?
I don't care about it, but all I think is that I presume Mike Tyson will just run at him like Yafeta Paliasina back in the day off the back fence for the Warriors, for the Wars, just straight at him. And if he catches him, it's over. And if he doesn't, then I guess it's a long night for a 8-year-old bloke.
58.
But I figure that all he needs to do is connect with one punch and this guy's toast, right?
Mike Tyson does. Yes, absolutely. And that's why with our Agenda TAB hunch this week, they've got a special market on for this fight. You can bet on this fight, by the way. It's on Netflix. The market is gone in 60 seconds. Either dude to get knocked out in 60 seconds. Mike Tyson was $26 last night. I woke up this morning. He's $23 to knock Jake Paul out in the first 60 seconds. Yeah. We put a $100 bonus bet on that.
Nice.
That's our hunch. Mike Tyson knocks out the YouTuber.
I fucking hope he does. Fucking YouTuber needs to be fucking
100%. All right, time to take one more break. When we come back, we've been talking about our headphones getting stolen. The Big Show, we've accused the Big Show of doing it. They've fired back. We need to go over this. And James, I think it's time for you to get out of here. You don't need to be part of this. We don't want this blood on your hands, man. You don't need to be part of this.
No, those three are intense humans. Like they act all chilled out entertainers, but they're not. Deep down,
they're not. They're dangerous.
This is going to end up in a car park somewhere, and it's not going to be like a really sort of cool music video type fight. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah. So we want to shelter you from this, shield you from this, James, and we'll let you go. Thank you very much for coming in this morning.
Cheers.
We were just about to get James McOnie out of here, but then we had late breaking news. We had to address it. We had to get him back in here. James Michael Lane, what have you heard?
Tim Southey has just announced that he will retire from Test cricket at the end of the third Test against England in Hamilton.
Oh, my God.
So he's going to go out at his home ground from Test cricket. So,
wow.
James McOnie, that's quite big news because I thought he was going to stick around and try and get 400 wickets and then try and overtake Sir Richard, but he's called time.
I mean, there must be some pressure on the Sexy Camel, and so they've probably given him an option of doing it, going out on his terms. Probably their terms, but it's tricky because when you see how long James Anderson bowled for, and you sort of think, oh, if I keep myself in good nick, and he's a wiry individual, Southey, and I sort of feel like he's never put on weight at all, and so you'd think like physically he'd be okay, but maybe it's just all those other guys just knocking on the door, and now it's time for the Sexy Camel to bow out.
He's 35.
Yeah,
you said you thought he might try and track down 400. He's not far off, is he?
Nah. He's not.
Is he 390 something?
He is. He's got the second highest. He's just overtook Vittori.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, Richie Hadley's, what is it? 432, I think.
Unassailable.
Or 31. Yeah, I think potentially he's looked at that and gone, whoa, it's another 40-odd, 50-odd Test wickets.
Is it a case of, I mean, it's always shocking when this happens, but I mean, he is 35, that's about how long a professional athlete career goes for. Is it a case of jumping before he's pushed? Did he not want to get Wagnered? Or has he been Wagnered?
He's been given a better option than Wags.
Yeah, Wags got that was ugly.
Yeah.
That was messy and ugly, that whole thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's going to be an all-time great. He goes into the pantheon of greats. He will probably be debated about in the greatest 11, Kiwi 11 of all time. Obviously, Paddles goes right in there with a bullet, and maybe it's a battle between him and his good mate, lovely Trenty. So, I think the thing is he's been there since he's young, G Lane.
Yeah,
it's like so many seasons.
19-year-old.
Yeah. And I think Ricky Ponting talked him up big time when he played one of his first tests and goes, this kid Southey's going to be good. And we said, we don't need you to tell us, thanks, Ricky, whatever, we'll decide. And Ricky was right.
Yeah, he was good.
Very, very good.
He was very good. Would he be in the Rushmore of New Zealand bowlers, do you think? It'll be Paddles, like you said. It'd probably be Vittori. It would be Bolton Southey.
Yeah.
Am I missing anyone? If there's four faces on Mount Rushmore?
I think that's about it. Yeah.
I think that is it because he's got longevity greatness, Tim Southey, because, Shane Bond, if he had a full career, was probably going to break some serious records, but he never played long enough. And I mean, I'd say Southey's up there. I mean, World Test champion, right? All those accolades go to him. So I think, he's on the Mount Rushmore, isn't he?
Yeah, it's going to be sad. What do we do, Lane, to mark it in that final test in Hamilton?
We need to get hold of a camel. don't we?
Yeah, we do, G Lane.
Yeah.
And straight away, this is your marketing brain just kicking into gear. This is what we need. If you don't get a camel, everyone will be disappointed and they'll think that you've failed.
Yeah, I know. There must be someone. I mean, does Hamilton Zoo have a camel?
No,
They must.
you can start with Hamilton Zoo, but there is a circus company that's based around in the Waikato. Is it the Weber Brothers? That's a Waikato
I haven't
company.
seen a lot of. I mean, just thinking about it, I haven't seen many camels in New Zealand.
Not in New Zealand, no. I actually don't know if I've ever seen a camel in New Zealand.
Damn, in Australia it'd be so easy.
my
wouldn't it?
so
God.
easy. On Middle
So
East,
many.
you just grab one off the back of a trailer.
Oman, you bloody crash
Yeah.
into one. Take one or two quick.
Okay. So,
Camel farmers in Waikato reach out.
Yeah.
So,
Tim Southee memory. I mean, I'm just thinking Eden Park when England turned up and he just mowed through them.
Oh, that was Westpac. It was Wellington. Is that the World Cup when when he got 5 wickets?
I'm thinking that Test match
yes.
where England barely registered on the scoreboard. It was just Southee and Bolt just coming at them,
For me, it was World Cup.
coming all over them.
World Cup, tearing them a new one in Wellington, and 30,000 people chanting Southee. 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 So, and it was one of the greats, and he was just absolutely ripping through them. He got five wickets, I think, before his 6th over. That's going to be an enduring memory for me, and just him hitting sixes.
yeah.
He's got the coolest record. He's got heaps of Test wickets, and I think he's number one. He's hit the most Test match sixes in the world. All batsmen.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think he
Far out.
overtook.
I know, it was
I think he overtook someone on that tour. So he hits sixes, gets wickets.
Why not? Why not? My favourite memory of Tim Southee, he once chirped me in Jeremy Wells' backyard. We were filming this thing a couple of years ago, and I was just bowling because, when you're filming, you've got to take a million takes. We couldn't quite get it right, so I'd been bowling non-stop for a good couple of hours. Southee shows up, sits down in a beanbag right next to where I'm bowling, and I'm puffing, and he goes, "It's not that easy, is it? So next time you're sitting in there commentating us, just remember." I was like, okay, sorry, Tim.
You've been warned.
Sorry, I did exaggerate. He's in the top 6.
Yeah.
So only people above Tim Southee in the most sixes in tests is Jacques Cullis, Chris Gale, Adam Gilchrist, Brendan McCullum, and Ben Stokes. And then there's Tim Southee. Below him is Virendra Sehwag, Rohit Sharma, Brian Lara,
Chris Cairns.
yeah, Angelo Matthews, Viv Richards, Andrew Flintoff. So
Viv Richards. Wow, man, that
was before helmets were invented.
Viv's the best of all of those batters that you just read out.
Yeah.
I think.
Cool
I mean,
shit.
I can't remember the top. Gilchrist would like to think he's the man, but Viv Richards. Ooh.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tim Southee. It's good that he chirped you.
Yeah.
He. Fun fact about Tim Southee is that he's from Northland farm boy.
Yep.
And when they first divided up the Super Rugby boundaries, Northland were part of the Chiefs. It was a
Right.
weird Northland and North Harbour were Chiefs mana, and so he, as a Northland kid, he goes, "Okay, that's my team. I'm a Chiefs guy." They redrew up the boundaries pretty early in his life, and it became Blues. But he was like, "No, Chiefs for life." And so he is a massive Chiefs till I die fan. Lives in Cambridge now, of course, but yeah. So he just stayed the course, and there was only one Northland player in the Chiefs team at that time, Glenn Taylor, I think.
the lock.
Big old lock. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, powerful. Well, I'd be sorely missed, but that is a huge bomb. We had to address it here.
Yes.
All
That's
right.
a big Woj bomb from you, mate.
That's a huge Woj bomb. All right, we'll get you out of here,
Cheers.
James, because
Cheers.
blood's about to be spilled here. Okay, yesterday on the podcast we talked about how our headphones are always missing. We will get to the developments from this morning, Lane, that we're looking at here. But before we do, after we said that, one of the biggest listeners to the podcast is Mike Minogue. He brought it up on their podcast yesterday. They played out the full clip of us saying that they always steal our headphones, and they sent through their response, which I have edited for time here, and I would like to play because there's some inconsistencies in the response that they've sent back at us, so I would like to go through those with you right now. So this is what they had to say.
That is utter bullshit.
That is bullshit. We don't do that.
At any point, we could point out that we each have our own headphones, which we keep in a secure location, and we never touch those ACC ones other than to borrow them.
We never touch them other than to borrow them. We never touch them other than to borrow them. Suspicious. That's point one in this SVU case that we're putting together against them. They went on to say this.
They very kindly
Yes.
let us use their studio. Very grateful for that. But
So they admit they use our studio.
And They're not grateful.
No, they're not grateful.
What have you received from them to show gratefulness?
Just this bollocking. That's all. But the tirade continues.
Can I just say that probably, a year and a half ago, Jace, you might have been guilty of borrowing some of their headphones.
So they openly admit they have been stealing our headphones up until a year and a half ago.
And this morning.
Yeah.
Can we get to this morning?
No, hold on. We'll get to this morning. So they said up until a year and a half ago, they openly admit they were stealing the headphones. They continue.
Shocking, man.
Until,
you were shocking.
Until we sat down with our head of Radio Hodaki, we had a meeting and we said, can we just have our own headphones, please?
It's surprising how many meetings you have to get at a radio station to get your own headphones.
Totally.
That's right. We had all 7 of them in one Zoom meeting, and we've got our own headphones now.
They've got their own headphones now, so they admit they didn't have headphones up until then. Now I think is as good a time as any to address what's happened just this morning.
Yeah, we needed some headphones. They were missing. Where the fuck were they?
Well, you went and had a look, didn't you? Where did you find them?
Fucking Hodaki studio.
Now, what do they say on the side of them?
ACC property.
This is starting to get ridiculous. They carried on. They then started questioning our character.
That is just, for them to throw shit out there like that, it just goes to show what a low-grade, subpar product they are actually making.
Backbone!
Those in glass houses. And finally, Jason Hoyt had this threat to issue.
You know what I want to say to those guys? Say it to my face, Lane.
Yeah.
Manaia Stewart. Say it to my face, pal.
Yeah.
And then we'll see who comes out on top, all right? You lame-ass sport bloody podcast crappy nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could have finished a bit stronger.
Yeah,
there.
sorry, I sort of ran out of
gas there.
Yeah, on expletives and stuff. I'm tired. It's been a long day. I played 18 holes of golf, for God's sake.
Well, firstly, to say it face to face, I'd have to get on my knees.
Secondly, you guys don't show up till like 4 p.m.
And you pre-record and you're out by 5:30.
So when are we supposed to come in and say it to your face? So I think this afternoon, I am going to just shirt front Jace when he walks in.
Fucking chin him.
Slam him up against the wall. Where are my fucking headphones, Jace? So yeah, we had to return fire. And I know Minogue will listen to this. So.
I think you should sweep the leg because he's got toothpicks for legs, and if you sweat the legs, you'd break both of them.
Like we said at the start of the podcast yesterday, you only got to start one scrap. You only have to do it once, and then the precedent is set. So they're going to try and get me on the show this afternoon, fill a break, because they can't fill a whole radio show by themselves. It's fine. I guarantee you they'll try and ask me to come on. I'm not going to. I'll be at the pub. So I'll slag us off. We'll play that out on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Tune in to Lane and McOnie on the commentary on Sunday morning. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.